If Fields is going to stay the starter for Pittsburgh, how do they find a quick game, an efficient pass game? I would keep starting him. I've been adamant about that. The designed quarterback runs, the scrambles with the legs, and then the accuracy downfield with Pickens. Okay, but this is what I talk about how do they find an efficient and short, quick passing game? So this is just empty, back down here, receiver, and when we got double tight ends, a tight end here, we're running stick essentially down at the bottom, all right? You're clear out, and then it's just a 5-yard out route, 5-yard out route. And then also you have maybe a choice, but it looks like to be an out route up top. All right, now Atlanta presents a base defense, 5 defensive linemen. These guys are technically outside linebackers. So when you're getting taught this, oftentimes it's middle field open, middle field closed, meaning where your safeties are, but it's pick a side and stay there, all right? So I would say the best thing is to try to throw into where one of those outside linebackers pressures from, okay? Now this guy pressures off this edge, and I think this is Judon dropping. I would say if that's the case, we want to throw into that and pick one of these sticks outside in. Always working outside in, because if you go inside out, you can get squeezed, okay? My thing would be twofold for their offense. One, Justin's ready to throw now. Too quick. You got to be catch and throw, and the ball has to come out on Washington's face mask right now, or we have to have just a little bit more pace with our drop, okay? The second thing is this. If you just took this picture right here and said, which one is like the better matchup or better leverage, you would go, well, I like the matchup, the receiver on the outside linebacker. Again, these are meetings, conversations. Hey, if we get the backer walked out on the receiver, we want to hold our eyes and rip that out route. We like that leverage better than Washington versus an inside backer, okay? So again, they're going to have to work through these hurdles of trying to find these, because there is that completion there. I think if Justin goes 1, 2, 3, holds his eyes vertical, sets and throw this ball out here, it's a completion, all right? So that's step number 1, is really trying to figure out, can they get that in their offense? Not an easy thing to try to get done, because it's not something that Justin's excelled at. Another situation, all right? We get this 2-by-2. We're essentially going to run the same thing. You get a relatively similar look. 3 D linemen, 2 outside backers, so it's 5 down. Which one's the pressure guy? All right, so to the field is the pressure guy. It's essentially the same look as the last one. Last one, he worked into the pressure. This time he doesn't. And I would sit there and go, okay, which one do we like the leverage in? And explain to me why you chose that side. Well, I wanted to go into the outside linebacker pressure. Well, if that's the case, the ball should be out to Freiermuth right now. That lack of consistency, decision, where am I going with the football? What's the plan? All right, how am I seeing things? Now, if you told me, well, I want to work into the boundary because it's a shorter throw, I love that. We can't take our eyes there right now. We just hold our eyes for a step and get the ball out. All these little things, they're going to have to, now maybe it's replicating the RPO as their quick game. I don't believe that their offense can just line up, if Justin's the guy, and run quote unquote quick game, which is 3-step catch and throw. I'm just trying to get a completion. I think if they're going to have to figure out a different way with Justin to get the easy completions schematically. And that's going to fall on Arthur Smith. All right, timing. All right. Now what we're going to get is basically that uncovered slot up top. All right. Ball has to be out right now. So there's moments when Justin's ready to throw too quick, and then there's moments when we're ready to throw too late. If that ball's out right now, it's a completion, and at worst, bang, bang. If not, a catch and make miss. These are the growth steps. Certainly, Justin has to have his part in. Also, the offense, just scheme-wise, I think that's going to be the challenge for Arthur Smith, is how do they go about getting that into their offense?
So, this film breakdown clip was done by Dan Orlovsky on X. So go ahead and follow him. That's his handle. He does a great job breaking down players, teams, schemes, everything like that. So, when looking at these clips, you could see that obviously Justin Fields and the Steelers, they need to work on their short passing game. And that's something that if they incorporate into their offense and they put it in, that team will become much better. We all know Justin Fields, he has that good deep ball. He has that timing on the deep ball with George Pickens, the other wide receivers, to be able to throw it deep and throw it at least into the intermediate parts of the field. But something he needs to work on, something the Steelers need to put in their offense, is the short passing game because of that drop back that Dan Orlovsky keeps saying. When you look at the drop back of Justin Fields, it seems like sometimes he doesn't really know what or how much of a drop back he needs in terms of the timing perspective of it. Sometimes his drop back is too quick, sometimes his drop back is too long, and he's just not ready to throw at the points that the offense and the players are turning around. And that's something that needs to be worked on and put into the offense and to be fixed, to have this offense get going in the coming weeks. Can he fix it? Can he improve on it? For sure. This is only week one. This is only week one of him being with the starters, basically, other than in training camp in preseason. He didn't get a full week to kind of go over the scheme and the game plan for this week's game against the Atlanta Falcons. He was kind of put in there last minute. So obviously, if he gets a full week to kind of go through the first team offense, to go through the game plan, to do what he wants to do against the Denver Broncos, of course it could get better. But that's just something that I kind of pointed out. Dan Orlovsky kind of pinpointed out of something that could be worked on. I truly believe with the Steelers offense, Justin Fields gives them the best chance to win because of his skills at the quarterback position, him being able to run the ball at certain spots, especially when stuff breaks down, making something out of nothing. Also, the designed plays that you could actually run for Justin Fields that you wouldn't be able to run for other quarterbacks because of how athletic he is, how big of a quarterback he is, being able to run through guys, and how fast he is, being able to use his legs, being able to have QB designed runs, QB draws, QB bootlegs, everything like that. Also, just the fact that he has throw power. That the pass that they made at the end of half, where they rolled them out left through back right. Sometimes you wouldn't call that for specific quarterbacks because you don't believe in their throw power, their athleticism, but quarterback Justin Fields was able to do that. They were able to run that play specifically for him because they know he's able to do it. So that's not the bad part about Justin Fields. There's so many good parts about having Justin Fields at quarterback, but we're looking at how this offense could get better, how this offense can improve week to week and not just only put up 3 points drive after drive and have no touchdowns on the board. Obviously, it's week one, but something to improve on is that short passing area, of course. And something else as well that I noticed is wide receiver blocking. Yes, we could talk about Justin Fields and keep going on about him, but something that needs to be improved on is wide receiver blocking. The Pittsburgh Steelers wide receivers were getting beat so many times in the run game, in the pass game, and it seems like they just didn't want to block. From, yes, people got on George Pickens, but it's more than just George Pickens. It was a Van Jefferson getting beat in the run game. They were using him as a primary run blocker wide receiver, and he just consistently got beat and got beat over and over, and they would lead to a tackle for loss, a tackle, and just a messed up play in general. Also, Calvin Austin, he's too small to be out there as a lead blocker. It's not really his fault. He's just put in bad situations as he should not even be on the field if they are running a wide receiver screen where they need to pick up 2 or 3 yards. If anything, have him as the person that you're throwing the pass to, not as a lead blocker on the outside. So you have this offense that obviously people need to kind of step up and the wide receivers need to step up. Obviously, in the past, you have great blocking wide receivers on the team when Hines Ward was here. You have a great blocking wide receiver in, just say, Miles Boykin. That's something that he specialized in last season, and that's one of the reasons why he was on the team, because of run blocking or pass blocking, whatever he did, and also special teams. So you just need to have wide receivers step up and want to block, and we have the guys in terms of size to do so. George Pickens, how many times do we see him just kind of push over the cornerback, push over guys? So if he's more determined to do it every single time and I'll just get the push over and have them down the floor and actually just block, then obviously he could do it. We've seen that he could do it. And Van Jefferson, he did it in the past with his other teams. And that's something he could do as well because of his size as well. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, obviously Scotty Miller, he is a good blocker in terms of his size. The Steelers use him at blocking, so maybe you could use him, but obviously he's a smaller guy. Calvin Austin's a smaller guy, but having George Pickens, Van Jefferson on the team, you want to be able to do that. You want to be able to block. Roman Wilson's obviously a smaller guy as well. So obviously you have these tight ends that you use as well. Connor Hayward, Darnell Washington, Pat Frymouth, McCole Pruitt. You have all these guys that need to be better at blocking. And that's something that really, this offense, that's something that they need to improve on for the next game that I've seen in the Atlanta game. Anyway, with that being said, these are just a few ways of how the Steelers offense can get better and improve next week and just for the weeks coming. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How do you think the Steelers offense can improve? Do you think they played a good game, a solid game? And do you think they'll improve for this next game against Denver Broncos? And let me know who you think will win that game. What's your score prediction as well, or keys to the game? Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news, updates, highlights, film, analysis, reports, everything like that. And until next time, I'll see you guys all later. I'm out. Peace.